We now start studying a drawing program. This is a very simple drawing program when you compare it with products available on the internet or on computer systems that you purchase. The functionality is pretty limited, but you will encounter a large number of interesting design situations. We will learn a number of techniques that would really help you construct programs more efficiently. So the drawing program would have an appearance like this. There would be, of course, a title here, but apart from that, there would be two different panels. In one of these panels, we want a bunch of buttons that would let you issue commands. We will call this the command panel. And then the other panel, which is a little larger, would be the drawing panel where you would draw the various shapes. So for example, if you click the line button, you should be able to draw a line. If you click the polygon button, you should be able to draw a polygon and so on. We will have the ability to draw other shapes like circles, create labels, undo and redo commands, save the drawing, retrieve the drawing. And we will also have the mouse change its shape as it moves from the command panel to the drawing panel, provided drawing is in progress. So if you click the line button to start drawing a line and move the cursor to the drawing panel, the cursor should change its shape. Whereas if you are not drawing anything at any given point, the cursor will have a different shape, a default shape in the drawing panel. So as you can see, we are expressing our needs through the current technology. And the GUI technology may change. If you're familiar with old versions of Java, you might know that in 1997, when Java came out, it had what is called abstract windowing toolkit, which was very or relatively primitive in its approach to graphical user interface programming. Then Java came up with Swing. Now it has FX, and it is very likely that the technology will change in the future. So the kind of interface that we get may change its appearance. For example, the shapes of the mouse cursors might change. The way buttons might appear would change, and so on. So we should design the system to anticipate such changes in technology. So what we need to do is isolate the graphical user interface part of it, the Java FX code or the Swing code or whatever we are using, from the rest of the system. No matter what technology you use, you have to draw polygons, you have to draw lines, you have to represent them in some way inside the system. If you get a click on a line button, you need to decide that a line has to be drawn and that you should represent the line in a certain way, etc., etc. So there are lots of things that are technology independent, or at least graphical user interface technology independent. So we want to isolate the graphical user interface programming from the rest of the system so that we can make the necessary changes if you want to switch from Java FX to a newer technology the next X number of years. And that would be one of our central goals. So our drawing program would have some logic at its center, at its heart, that would be independent of the graphical user interface technology that is used. So the user would be inputting commands through the set of widgets that are supported by the current technology. As the user issues commands like clicking a button to draw a line, some commands will be generated, and all these commands will go to a controller. So there will be a controller interface meaning a Java interface containing a number of methods, one for each type of event, and those methods will get activated. They will get invoked. So there needs to be a concrete controller which decides what to do when these commands are issued. And the GUI input processor would be highly technology dependent. And it would know that there is a controller interface and invoke methods from this interface, which would be handled by the concrete controller, and we will have some logic to take care of all that input. And then there will be the issue of displaying the shapes. So we will have JavaFX in this program, and to a limited extent, Java Swing, just to give you heads up, to show the shapes, to display the shapes. So there needs to be a view that has an interface, and you need to invoke methods of this view directly or indirectly from the logic to get the output. So that is a broad division of responsibilities.